We're here with Bob Burg at the Endless Referrals Live event here in Kansas City. Bob was speaking today about the power of networking and endless referrals. This is Will Gladhart with Will Gladhart Consulting speaking with Bob. Our first question is, Bob, you talked about the 5 laws of the go-giver. Can you detail those out and what those mean for someone networking in business?
Sure. The basic premise of the go-giver is simply that shifting one's focus from getting to giving, in this case meaning constantly and consistently adding value to people's lives, is not only a nice way to live life, but a financially profitable way as well. It's based on 5 laws: the law of value, the law of compensation, the law of influence, the law of authenticity, and the law of receptivity. Law number 1, the law of value, says your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Which doesn't mean you give things away, and it certainly doesn't mean you don't make a profit. It simply means that the buying experience you create for someone is such that they are going to feel just great about having done business with you. Now, this could be both on a concrete and conceptual basis. I give the example of the accountant who charges $1,000. That's his fee or price, but saves someone $4,000 in taxes. That's very concrete value in exchange for price. But there's also the time that's involved, that this person's saving the other person time. Also providing the security of knowing it was done correctly. So while giving over $4,000 in value, charging just $1,000, both people come out of it great. The client, who got much more in value than what he or she paid for, and the accountant, who makes a very healthy profit. We could say that money is simply an echo of value. It's the thunder to value's lightning. Focus on the value and the money will follow. Law number 2 is the law of compensation. This says that your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So where law number 1 says to provide more in value than you take in payment, law number 2 tells us that the more people whose lives you add that kind of exceptional value to, the more money with which you will be rewarded. So where law number 1 is the foundational principle of value, law number 2 says it's not enough just to provide great value, you also have to have reach. You have to touch a lot of people's lives with that value. So we could sum up the first 2 laws by saying that exceptional value plus significant reach equals very high compensation. Law number 3 is the law of influence. This says your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. This sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it's what all great leaders and all great salespeople do on an everyday basis. You know, the golden rule of business, of sales, of networking says that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. There's no faster, no more powerful, no more effective way to elicit those feelings toward you and others than by taking the focus off yourself and putting it on adding value to their lives. Law number 4 is the law of authenticity, and this simply says the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. All the sales skills, technical skills, people skills, as important as they are, and they are important, they're all for naught if you don't come at it from a true, authentic self. If you don't act out of integrity and authenticity and are not able to communicate that. When you are, however, there's a power to that and people respond to it. Law number 5 is the law of receptivity, and this says the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. You know, just like breathing out and breathing in are simply 2 sides of the very same coin. One is not more righteous than the other. It's the same with giving and receiving. And so long as your focus is on giving, you'll receive in abundance. The key is you've got to allow yourself to receive.
Thank you so much, Bob.